Welcome back everyone. In today's video we'll have a look at ship glitch building in Starfield. In this guide we will be looking at 4 different techniques that will allow you to build a unique spacecraft and bypass some of the restrictions in the game. I will be covering 4 of those techniques, share some helpful tips and also the potential pitfall when using them. Now, these techniques ultimately lead to the same result, which allow you to merge modules and parts together. There are no techniques, at least not yet, that allow you to change the angle of parts, for example. And do not worry, there is no need to install mods or activate console commands. This can all be done in the vanilla gameplay. We will begin with the flip glitches, which have 2 applications, either snapped or non-snapped. Let us begin with the non-snapped technique. And what we want to do, we want to take this part here and I want to merge it into here, because I don't like this gap. If you look here, you can see this is like this flat piece. Even if I would take this part here and I snap it here, there is still this gap between. If you look here, you can see that gap is still there. I don't like it. So we're going to snap this one here. And let's try to merge this piece in there with using the non-snapped glitch. So let's move a little bit closer. And what we're going to do, we're going to take this part, we're going to move it away, and we need to keep on holding it with the mouse. And we're going to flip it. You can see down there in the legend, when you're holding the part, there will be an option there, flip. We just need to press that button. Now, once it's flipped upside down, we can then bring it to the position where we want to snap it as close as possible. But we need to make sure it's not red. We need to make sure it's clear. And once you're happy with the position, we're going to press Z again. And if the part is in the correct position and we press that button, it's going to flip and snap on that position we want to. And it will be green stated. Now, the only thing we need to do is release it. And there we go. It snaps perfectly in place. That is the non-snapped flip glitch. Now, if you're building in the future yourself, I would like to warn you about the results, because some of the parts will merge into the cockpit. And if you're using large parts, for example, it might block you from accessing the cockpit. It might block you from accessing a doorway. So you will have to be a little bit smart about that. And if you see that something is not working, you might have to adjust it. Alright, let us now move over to the snapped flip glitch. This technique is actually just the same as you would do the non-snapped one, but the difference is here you might have like 20% chance that it doesn't succeed and you have to do it again. Now what I want to do here, I want to snap this piece in here and I want to merge the 2 noses together. Now be aware, for this technique to work, you have to have the part already into the work area. It is not possible to take it out of the list and try it. It has to be there already. Now, as you can see, this piece doesn't snap there. We could, of course, use the non-snap glitch and just go over here, snap it. There we go. It perfectly snaps in there. But this time I want to show you what you can do instead. We can just snap it on the place and we can flip it 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 times should be definitely enough. Then you just press cancel on the PC, that's tap. And there we go. The piece has snapped into the position and it's nicely merged into the other nose of the piece. Now, while we're at this example, let me show you what I mean, that when you put the part in the cockpit, it can either block the doorway or it can ruin the view. I did this because I kind of like this part merging into the cockpit, because I don't like the gap between it, but the result inside will be a little bit annoying. So let us take this Demos hull here and snap it on top of this. We're going to snap it on here, so we have a snap point. And then we're going to bring this over into there. And now you can see it doesn't allow me to place it. That's no worries. We're going to just flip it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cancel again. And there we go. You can see that now the piece has snapped perfectly into there. But then if you look at the inside, you can see that the piece is actually merging through your cockpit. Kind of makes it too low of a ceiling. And then if you walk through it, you will see that it kind of clips through it as well. You can look around and you will see that the part is like, yeah, you're seeing the ceiling of this cockpit there. So this kind of breaks the immersion of your ship. And this can happen when you do this in the front of a door or whatever, kind of blocks your view or access. So these 2 were the flip glitches. On this example, I showed you the non-snap flip glitch. And on this one, I showed you the snapped flip glitch. The next one we're going to talk about is the cycle glitch. The cycle glitch is pretty much the same like the flip glitch. The difference is we are not flipping our part. We actually are cycling through the varieties. So, for example, let's say I want to merge this cowling into the cockpit, a little bit similar like we did before, but this time we don't want to use the flip glitches, we want to use the cycle glitch. So instead of flipping, we're going to be cycling through our varieties, and this of course only works with parts that have a variety. So if you look down there in the bar, you can see previous and next variety. If I press the button to cycle to my next variety, and we do this a few times more until you of course are at the variety you want to place, and I cancel it again, you can see it now has placed that part there in as well. So this is very similar to the flip glitch, but instead of flipping, we're using the variety. And this can come in very handy because some of the parts don't have flipping and other parts don't have the variety. So we can use both techniques depending on what part you're using. And of course, might be interesting to know that everything works properly. If I double click on this, you can see it selects everything. So snap points are all perfectly working together. All right, the final technique I want to show you is the duplication glitch or the copy glitch. Now what I want to do here, I want to snap this one here. So it kind of lines up with the bar in the back and it makes a nice smooth connection. And it goes through the landing gear. Now there is, again, you could use the other techniques, but for this technique, I want to show you how the duplication glitch works. And what we're going to do, we're going to place a room on top of that. So we're going to place a habitat module on top here. Just let's go to G. And we're going to take this one here. We're going to snap it on top of the existing build. And we're just going to move it to here. So it's snapped on this part. And it also lines up because I want this to copy over down in the bottom. That's the plan. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that one. And we're going to snap it. Let's just raise the level a bit. There we go. We're going to snap it right here on top. Because that is where we want it to be in the position. And we want to have this duplicated to the bottom. And now I'm just going to aim my mouse to that piece. And then we're going to press Ctrl G. Because that's the button combination you use to duplicate. At least on PC. I'm not entirely sure what you press on controller. Ctrl G. And it's automatically going to look for the nearest snap point and place a new part green stated there. Be sure not to move your mouse, otherwise it's going to unsnap and go red stated. If there would be a snap point up there, it might actually copy it to the top one. So you need to make sure that the snap point is nearby. But once you're happy with its place, you just accept. And there we go. Now we can delete this and can now see that the part has perfectly merged through the landing gear and snaps against that other part. And that's it. These are the 4 techniques I currently know how to do some ship glitch building in Starfield. Do some experimentation because you can do some fun stuff with it. You can even hide parts. So for example, you want to hide a shield inside your grav drive. That's all possible by using some of these techniques. Once again, I would like to warn you about the combinations of parts you're using. If you, for example, use this cockpit with the cowling on top like I have here, then it will merge inside of the cockpit and that's probably something you don't want to have. Other things you should be aware of, if you're merging like landing gear, you will see these little flickerings. That's because 2 parts are actually in the same position. So these kind of things you have to either avoid or use the right coloring so you don't have that flicker. Because in the end, that's why you're doing it. You want your ship to look nice. But you can see I'm now here, I'm having 3 parts merged together. One is the engines, then it's the hull wing, and then of course one of the landing gears right here. On the top side, I actually merged the reactor and the fuel tank in the same position, and then the grav drive in the back. I also merged the landing bay underneath the cockpit, which is normally not allowed, but using these techniques I'm able to move it 1 step forward. In my opinion, it looks a little bit better. I do like the cockpit a little bit more embedded into the ship. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you enjoyed it, then please hit that thumbs up. It does help a lot. If you have any helpful comments or questions, you can always drop them below here in the video or in the Discord, and I will see you again next time. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.